paper presents a brief review of the demand management literature before presenting key findings from 6 case studies. The appearance of demand management in the supply chain began in the context of increasing research interest in demand application. A number of studies have used the system dynamic approach to develop computer-based simulations of supply chain activity, and thereby test various theoretical strategies to deal demand applications. Disadvantages of demand application. It is suggested that, first, it provides case-based evidence of the real struggle. Second, it contributes to the body of literature on demand application in terms of case evidence of the effect within accurate food chains and some further understanding of the micro-level obstacle to addressing the issue. The methodology used in the VCA project from which the 6 case study departed are drawn is based on the extended value extreme analysis approach outlined by Jones and Womack. A team of VCA project, 1 or 2 senior managers from each of the company involved, together with 2 external researchers. The value stream comprises specific operational units along the supply chain, a specific farm, processing plant, distribution center, and a specific retail outlet. Data collection involves 5 steps. The first 2 steps will help us understand the structures for processing and handling demand information. The remaining 3 steps in the data collection process provide a tool for understanding the characteristics of demand information flowing through these channels. Features of demand management can be considered into 2 broad categories: the characteristics of the demand signals and operational features. Firstly, characteristics of demand in agri-food chains include three recurrent features of demand. An example is given in Figure 2, which shows the demand pattern for resources. The high peak around week 8, while the 3 peaks at weeks 24, 30, 40, and 49 were related to retailer promotional activities. Figure 3 shows the demand for a 2.5 kilogram pack of organic white potatoes. This was largely due to the demand for organic potatoes was affected by the demand for all the types of potatoes. The chart in Figure 4 shows the pattern of demand for pork chops over a 2-year period. The most striking feature is the reduction in the variability of both consumer demand and retailer order through supplier after the introduction by the retailer of a policy everyday low pricing in 2002. That the pack house was driven by production efficiency targets related to batch sizes and inventory levels rather than by policy of producing in line with customer demand. Figure 6 shows the data for supply chain for carrots, featuring a supermarket and carrot packing plant. Although customer demand is variable, it can be seen that all aspects of ordering and production system are closely aligned to customer demand and captured by EPOS. Poorly managed daily demand. Demand and activity rates tend to deviate on a daily basis through detailed investigations of direct order and production patterns. Consumer shopping habits dictate that demand towards the end of the week, Friday and Saturday, will normally be higher than earlier in the week. This creates difficulties for suppliers in terms of capacity planning, a problem which is exacerbated when suppliers work a Friday week while retailers trade over 7 days. 2 related problems of processor production. A number of operational features of demand management emerge as problematic across the chain study. The complexity of information flows had typically arisen because systems had evolved rather than having been planned, and because of the proliferation of computer and manual systems that had been developed in isolation along the supply chain. The effect was to slow down the transmission of orders, to increase the propensity for errors, and to increase the cost of administration. Data availability, accuracy, and consistency. Demand and activity analysis needs to be based on volume data in order to provide a consistent unit of measurement through the chain. Demand management system needs to be checked the integrity of data before embarking on any collaborative demand planning across the chain. In Figure 9, which shows the activity pattern for mid-chain. Although precise data on quickly stock levels at retailer could not be obtained, retail managers reported that stock was certainly not increasing by the amount suggested by the chart, which raised the issue of what could account for the discrepancies. Further investigation traced the main cause of the discrepancies to errors in sales data processing algorithm at the retailer. Forecast proliferations. For example, in one mid-chain, 8 forecasts were produced at the retailer. The category management team, the buying department, and the supply chain department each produced their own forecasts. At the meat processor, forecasts were made by retail account manager, the operations planners, and the animal procurement team, while at the producer level, a farm management company made forecasts of animal procurements, and farmer gave monthly forecasts of animal availability. Problems in sharing consumer demand data. In one chain, beef brisket, the processor had access to the retailer proprietary IT system, which gave online access to EPRS data. The data provided by the retailer showed weekly sales by individual stock-keeping units in the beef product category at each individual store. As the retailer has over 500 stores and the processor supplied over 50 goods, the data provided by the retailer required significant manipulation to be of use to the supplier. Timeliness of order transmission. Retailers transmit daily orders around midday, often only 1 or 2 hours before the dispatch deadline for vehicles leaving the supplier. Suppliers respond to this either by supplying from the stock or finished products, or by starting production at the beginning of the day without a clear idea of the amount that will be required by the customer on that day. Lag curve on shelf availability data. On-shelf availability data is the moment of truth for the entire supply chain. There is a fundamental need to be developed system to continuously and accurately monitor on-shelf availability, a corollary of which could be improved ability to estimate lot sales as a result of empty shelves. Disconnect between agricultural production and customer demand. Generally, our agricultural production has long lead times. In none of the chain study was there a systematic attempt to closely link agricultural production at the time production decisions were made, to anticipate customer demand at the time the product would be harvested. In none of the chains did the retailers provide long-term forecasts of consumer demand that could help to inform volume decisions at the start of the farming process. In all of the chain study, farm production were essentially a push system. Therefore, the production of a joint long-term forecast by farmers, processors, and retailers for the time period determined by the growth cycle of a particular product could be an important step in helping to link farm production to customer demand. In order to improve demand management, consideration must be given to both the technological and the organization barriers that exist. The first stages, end-to-end synchronizations of activities, is of critical importance. Stage 1, definition. The first stage includes the definition of the relevant data required to manage demand, followed by systematic and accurate recording of these data on an ongoing basis. Reliable and consistent data between chain partners on consumer sales, ordering patterns, and inventory levels is a prerequisite for more effective and integrated demand management. Stage 2, distributions. The second stage demonstrates the distribution of final demand information upstream, the fundamental ingredient for demand-driven supply chains. A key area for improvement here is the streamlining of information handling system, both within and between companies. The development and growing adoption of web-based demand management software creates the opportunity for involvement in the demand management process of smaller scale suppliers by substantially reducing the cost and the complexity of access to downstream information and management system. Stage 4, delivery. The final stage relates to tactical planning and execution of the demand management strategy. Particular attention should be paid to the micromanagement of demand by more attention to daily order patterns within the quickly trading cycle and to the timing of order transmission between retailers and processors. This could significantly affect costs by avoiding either overproduction and resulting product waste, or underproduction and increased cost due to overworking or emergency deliveries. Thanks for watching.